Hello, everybody. This is Brian. I am so excited that you have chosen to journey with me through this self-guided spiritual communication course. During this course, we are going to cover so much information. It'll bring you from where you are right now, a true beginner, to being able to do these readings for friends and family and others, understanding how to best connect with your spirit guides and spirits, understanding what the spiritual communication techniques are. We're going to practice. We're going to practice. And we're going to practice some more. It's okay to be nervous at first, but I guarantee you, once you finish this course, you will have more confidence than you ever thought you could. You'll be getting more and more hits. So, again, I want to thank you for trusting me to be your guide during this time. And I know that you are going to grow and you are going to be a benefit to those here and in the spirit world. And I'm excited for you. So let's get started. This is the most important thing that you can do. You have to have the right mindset when you embark on any spiritual journey or any journey at any place at any time. You have to have the right mindset. What are you accomplishing? And when we can put this down in writing and we can really agree on what it is, that's a great start. You can't have the mindset when you're becoming a medium to go out and you need to make $1 million and have your own show and go to Hollywood and do all this stuff. You can't have a mindset like that. It has to be a mindset that's realistic and grounded in making people's lives better, the highest and the best good, bringing the highest and the best messages to those people, helping people. When we have that mindset, we will go far. If you have the mindset that you're just doing this to know the lottery numbers, to win millions of dollars, that's not the right mindset. Pretty simple, isn't it? So if you haven't thought about what it is that you are trying to accomplish here with this class and with these skills and with this ability, then take a few minutes, get a piece of paper, get a notebook, and write out what it is that you're looking to do. What is your goal? What is your mindset? What are we trying to accomplish here? And by writing it out, you're telling yourself and you're telling the spirit world that you're really serious about this. I feel that it's important that we commit through our intention when we do this work, and when we commit to do this intention and we speak it out loud. We are reaffirming it to ourselves and we are reaffirming it to those spirit teachers and guides that are with us, that we're serious about this work. So I have written down my own. You can take it as it is, or you can change it to better suit your desires and your intentions. But it goes like this. And you need only say this once. Hello, spirit guides, teachers, and healers. I am starting my formal training today. I am excited to get to know you all better as we journey together. As you know, I am looking into this training to be a help to myself and to others. I feel people when death comes into their life, and I feel their helplessness. And I want to help bridge the gap and reconnect them to their loved ones, deliver messages, and most importantly, deliver peace and closure. Please help to prepare me for this work for the highest good of myself and all those are involved, now and in the future. Amen. So by setting these intentions and saying the words out loud, we are reaffirming to ourselves and those on the other side that help us, our guides and our teachers, that we are serious about this work. Again, you need only say this once, and you can change the words to better suit your true motives and intentions. This is simply a guide. And if ever you feel that you are slipping or not as connected as you were before, reaffirm. And I guarantee that when we set that intention, we set those parameters with our teachers, that we are in for a most amazing journey. Okay, everybody. So right now, what I want to talk to you about are the chakras. Maybe you've heard about them. Maybe you've seen videos about them. Maybe you know exactly what's up with them. So the chakras are these energetic vortexes, these energetic points within the middle of our physical bodies and our spiritual bodies. And these will allow the communications and the sensations and the vibrations to enter into our systems so that we can make sense of them and feel them and sense them. So the chakras begin above the head, about 10 inches. And this upper chakra is called the crown chakra. And each chakra is actually connected to a specific frequency and a color. So the color of the crown is violet, which is a very deep purple. And again, this crown chakra is above the head approximately 10 inches. And that's the closest and highest, closest to the spiritual realm. Below that, we have the third eye chakra, which is located about in the center of the head, the forehead, but really all of these chakras are closest to the spine. They're not centered to the body, they're not on the front of the body, they're closest to the spine. So here is the third eye chakra, and this chakra is really responsible for the understanding of all the other senses that you receive through your other chakras. It's making the dots, connecting the dots to between the feelings and what you're hearing and what you're seeing and what you're knowing to bring that whole picture forward. Next, we have the throat chakra, which is in the throat. And by the way, the third eye chakra is indigo, which is blue and purple. It's a mix of blue and purple. With the throat chakra, we have blue. So we had the crown is purple, the middle, which is your third eye, is a mix of blue and purple. And then the throat chakra is blue. The throat chakra's job really is to bring in the communication, to hear the words, the thoughts, the knowings. Those are going to come through your throat chakra. Below that is the bridge, which is the high heart or heart chakra. And this chakra is the color of green. And this one's important because it does bridge the lower chakras with the upper chakras. So more of the physical with the spiritual. And this really is the seat of the soul. It really is the connection between being physical and being spiritual. So that's really important to be unblocked. In the center of the chest is the yellow solar plexus. Yellow solar plexus chakra. And that's where all these clairsentient feelings, these feelings are going to come in. They're going to be centered around there. Lots of times you can start to feel spirit here, and it will be a warm feeling or just a presence or a weighty feeling in this area. Some people will describe this as gut feeling. So the gut feeling really comes here from the solar plexus chakra. And below that, about 2 inches below your belly button, is the orange sacral chakra. And this really is about what leads you, what drives you, passions, that sort of thing, here in the orange sacral chakra. And then finally, at the base of the tail, we have the root chakra, which is the red chakra. And if you think about colors, if you know anything sciencey about colors, we have, if you picture the color scale, we have on one end, the left end typically, we have reds, and then like below reds is something called infrared, and it's not really able to be seen. You might see a glow or something, but it's below the visible red spectrum, okay? And then as you go up to the right, you go through the rainbow, and then you see like the purples and the violets. And then above that, we have ultraviolet. So these also are frequencies. And to the left, with the reds, are low frequencies, and to the purples and the indigos, the violets, those are high frequencies. So you're starting to get the connection here. Remember, you've probably heard that the trick to spirit communication is we have to raise our vibration. We have to keep our vibration high. That's bringing it through that spectrum, right? It's bringing it into the purple. And remember, the purple and the indigos and the violets, those are our upper chakras. So those are corresponding with those vibrations. And if we're matching those vibrations and we're really in there in those vibrations, we're vibrating at a high rate. Isn't that amazing? So, and then consider that spectrum from like the red to the purple or the violet. That's only a very small spectrum. But they're so much lower and so much higher that we just can't see with our eyes. Does it mean they're not there? Absolutely not. Because in the dark, if you've seen any cameras, a lot of security cameras, and even on some shows where they're doing ghost hunting, they use IR cameras or infrared cameras where they have an infrared light on their camera, and the eye can't pick it up, but you see it. It really brightens the entire room. If you have a security camera that has night vision, that's also infrared. So it has small LEDs that project infrared light, and that allows you to see nighttime videos as if it was a bright spotlight. But when you look out there, if you were to look at that, you wouldn't see it at all. You just see a very slight glow around where the camera is, because that's the ultraviolet light. So it's there, but you can't really see it. That's pretty interesting. Think about that. So this is the chakras. Again, we go from the crown to the third eye, to the throat, the heart, solar plexus, sacral, and root. These are all the places where spirit communications are going to come in. And it's important that these areas are clear and open. And when we meditate and we focus on these different chakras, it's good to remember the colors, because as we're visualizing this with our eyes closed, we want to see that color nice and bright and clear and clean. And that will assist us in opening and clarifying. Okay, let's talk about choosing powerful words. Words that we speak within, even to ourselves or within a reading, are super important. If we choose words that bring our conscious mind back into the forefront, we are going to start blocking ourselves like there is no tomorrow. Let me give you an example. When we use thinking or maybes, or I'm not sure what this means, or this might sound crazy, but avoid all of this stuff. Don't talk like that, okay? We don't want to. If I could give you one easy hint, the one easy hint is always to say, feel, 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 feel. I feel this, I feel that. I'm being shown. See how these are different? I think that you are confused about something versus I feel that you're confused about your job. I feel you're confused about where you're fitting in versus I think that you're confused about something. I'm not sure, but are you confused about where you're fitting in? See how one's sort of asking, one's unsure, and one's very specific. So even if deep down inside you're not sure, and you get this information, and then you start to use the powerful words, I feel that this, I feel like that, I'm being shown this. You see how this will actually just start to energize and unblock you? And as soon as you keep going and going and going, you're going to find that this information comes in for you at a quicker rate because you're not doubting, you're not blocking yourself up, you're leaving yourself wide open, you're connecting, you're moving forward. The other thing that we are going to do here that I'm going to include in the powerful words section is doubting. You don't want to doubt yourself, okay? Because here's the truth. When you set aside time to practice and you set aside time to work, you are sending this signal and this message to the spirit world that you're serious. And they're going to come in and they're not going to let you down. 100%. Whether you can see them in the room with you now or you can't. They are present. They're not in some far off place. They're not unattainable by you. They are there and they are working their best to connect to you in the best way that you can understand right now. That's going to change over time. So don't doubt. If you get messages or thoughts or images, don't try to understand what it is right away. Just give it. For instance, I'm hearing Michael. There's a Michael connection with you. Would you understand this? Now, if you hear Michael, you don't want to say, I think maybe an M name, or there's an M name, or maybe. Okay, you didn't hear M, right? You heard Michael. You heard a specific name. Give it. Just give it. I know the default action for all of us, and it's natural when you start. It's natural to not want to be wrong and to bring it back all the way that it gives you the ability to be wrong but not feel bad, like you're not sure. I mean, you heard Michael, but that's an M, so maybe it's an M name, maybe you're wrong. You see how this can kind of snowball? And then what would typically happen is either the Michael connection, they're not going to think of. They're going to say, oh, yeah, well, I have an Aunt Mary. Well, they might also have an Uncle Mike. And it's Uncle Mike that's here, not Aunt Mary. but you just missed that because you just said it's some sort of M name. I'm not really sure. Call me crazy. So it's important that when you get something, you give it, and you use the powerful words. I'm feeling, I know, I'm being shown, that sort of thing. When you put in, I'm not sure, maybe, I think, I don't know what this means, but okay. If you don't know what it means, that's okay. But you can say that, you can say, I don't know what it means, but I'm seeing a tennis ball. Versus, I'm being shown a tennis ball. Seems a little out of context to me. Would you understand this? And they might say, yes. Uncle Mike had a walker and he had tennis balls that were split open and put on the foot of his walker. Okay? So, if you're not sure, again, choose the powerful words. I'm being shown the tennis ball. What's the tennis connection? Does this make sense to you? Rather than, I don't know what this is all about, but here's a tennis ball. The powerful words. And you know what? You're gonna forget. You're gonna start thinking, you're gonna start maybeing, but as soon as that word comes out of your mouth, I want you to realize it, take a step back, and go back in. Because you can always come back in. What happens when we choose the non-powerful words in the thinking is this energy that we've moved out around us, and we push our energy out into the space so that we can make room for spirit to come in and meet us in between. As soon as we start doubting ourselves and thinking, well, that space starts to collapse on us. Okay, I think, I maybe know, right? And we're not leaving room for spirit to meet us in there. So when we understand that we said something that we shouldn't because it's a thinking instead of a feeling or a knowing, we can just go back and say, I feel, and as you're doing that with your mind, you're pushing back out those boundaries. So now we're pushing back out that energetic boundary so that we can again get into that power. Okay? So you're going to forget. Don't worry. Don't sweat it at all. Just backtrack, push it out, and go back in the way you should have in the beginning, which is, I'm feeling, I'm showing, I'm being shown, I know. And that's the importance of powerful words. I want to talk to you right now about breath work. Breath work makes us powerful. We're human. So our normal human understanding and default mode is to be worried about everything. To carry around our baggage like it's our job. You're worrying about what you did yesterday or what you might have said yesterday. You're worried about what you got to do tomorrow, what you got to do later, what's coming up, what's worrying you. And what happens is when we do that, when we act the normal human existence, we take some of this energy that's ours. We only have so much of it. We've got this energy. Say it's 100% of our energy. And we put 40% into the stuff we did that we can't let go of. And we put 60% in the future about the stuff we're worrying about. 40 and 60 is 100%. That leaves absolutely zero for right now. That's no good. So we want to try and avoid that. Even if it's tough for you and you walk around your entire day 60-40 split. When you're conscious of this, that this is your natural way of doing things, you can bring it back. You can collect the 40 from the past, you can collect the 60 from the future, and be 100% in your power in the present. I heard somebody who was teaching meditation say this: we are no longer or haven't been human beings. We're human doings. We're always busy doing things. Doing this, doing that, worrying about this, worrying about that. We miss being human beings in being. So this is where breath work comes. The breath is something that happens absolutely every day in the moment. Doesn't happen in the past, doesn't happen in the future. It happens right now. So if we connect to it, if we release the things that were the 40% in our past and the 60% in the future, we can bring the 100% to now. And we can make sure we're focusing on now by focusing on, right, our breath. So how can we do that? Well, there are so many ways to do it. The first thing I can say is don't sweat it. You can do it with your eyes open. You can do it with your eyes closed. Do it laying down, sitting up. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you hold it for 4 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds. You breathe through your nose or through your mouth, one or the other or both, or backwards. That was backwards. In through the mouth, out through the nose. Is that right? Does that make it any less possible, present, powerful? No. So lay that aside, that you're doing it wrong. I'm going to give you some examples of ways that you can do it right now. But if you have a different way that's more comfortable, go ahead and do it that way. Well, let's start by closing our eyes. We're going to set the intention first to leave everything in the past. We can imagine, if we want to, putting this all into a vacuum cleaner, sucking up everything in the past. And then turn that hose over to the right side. Everything in the future. Turn that off, lay it to the side, get comfortable, whether that's your hands in your lap, on the table, palms up or palms down. And I want you just to put your awareness on your breath. And we do that by just breathing in. Let's do in through the nose, out through the mouth. In. And I want you to kind of put that awareness, like, where's that air coming into your nose? Can you put your awareness there to the tip of your nose? Is that air cool or cold or warm? We're going to count to 4 here as we breathe in. You're going to hold it for 4. And breathe out through your mouth for 8. And do it again. Hold it. Out. And as you're doing this, the idea is to slow down the breath, and as we feel it entering our nose and being exhaled through our mouth, we're in this present moment. We are reconnecting everything that is us in 100% power to this very moment, that we're attaching it to the thing that's happening in the present. We're being. And if we exhale twice as long and fully, we are relaxing our body. We're taking in that air and exhaling all that CO2 and that bad stuff we don't need. This is a great way to calm your nerves if you're feeling anxious. Just sit there and focus on right now. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay, some truth with breath work. If you're doing breath work and you are getting distracted because you're distractible, like meditation for you is not so easy. And as you're doing it, some of that past or some of that future creeps in. That's okay. That is okay. If that happens, I want you to pick up that vacuum cleaner, suck that back up, turn it off, set it aside, go back. So how long do you have to do this for? Whatever you feel. Can you do it for a minute? Can you do it for 5? That's fine. To be able to just sit down and focus on you in this moment, putting aside your human doing and being a human being, is the reconnection you need. So do it as long as you need, whenever you need. It does help if you pick a certain time to do this. And if you're just not sure and you can't do it at lunch break or you have no other time, do it in one of the 2 points of the day that you actually have control of. Can you think of what those 2 times are? I'll be thinking about them right now and see if you can pick up on it. If you thought morning and night, you're right. Before you go to bed and before you wake up, take a couple of minutes. Vacuum up the past, vacuum up the future. Be present and breathe. So Clair is a French word that means clear, and it's clear seeing, clear knowing, clear hearing, clear feeling. You get the idea. So these are the counterpart of our physical senses. You're familiar with seeing and smelling and touching and tasting. Those are physical senses. The spiritual senses are the clairs, and they overlap our physical senses. As a matter of fact, when you really think about it, we are spirit, and we have spirit, and we have souls, and we are experiencing this physical life. After the physical life, we're still spirit, we're still souls. So what we consider our primary senses, our sight, our hearing, our touch, our taste, our feeling, all that, not really our primary senses, is it? Because in the heart, in the core of us, we're spirit. So our spiritual senses, those clairs, are actually our primary senses. So let's go through and see if we can tackle them all and understand if you understand. And I'll give you some examples of ways that you can feel and experience these senses. Because a lot of times I find that students will say that they don't have a certain spiritual gift, or they don't have clairsentience, and they don't have clairvoyance, and they don't have clairaudience, but yet they've experienced it and just chalked it up to something else. So as we go through it, I'll give you some examples of ways that you experience it. And you'll see just how much of it you actually are getting. So let's start with clairvoyance. I'm just going to take a look here at my notes and make sure I capture them all. So clairvoyance, that's clear seeing. It's the counterpart to our physical sight here. And we can experience clairvoyance in many, many different ways. We can do it with the eyes closed. We can do it with the eyes open. An example of clairvoyance is this. I want you to close your eyes right now. You have them closed? Good. I want you to imagine that you're standing in the middle of an empty room. It's completely black. The only thing that you can see is a white table in front of you. On the white table, I want you to see that there's a vase. And within the vase, I want you to see a single flower. Are you seeing the table, the vase, and that flower? What kind of flower is in there? Is it a rose? Is it a sunflower? A daisy? A poinsettia? What color is it? If you were to reach out and lift that flower up by the stem, what would that stem feel like to you? If you were to slide a petal between your thumb and your forefinger, what would that texture be like? Okay, you can open your eyes. If you were able to picture the table, the vase, and the flower, you've experienced clairvoyance. The difference between clairvoyance from spirit and clairvoyance now is that I guided you through the experience of being in the room with the table, the vase, and the flower. When we're connecting with spirit, that doesn't come from us. It comes from spirit. So when you see that, and you sense that, and you experience that, that's spirit communicating with you through clairvoyance. Now, not all spirits are good at visuals like that. Some may not be visual. Some may be more feelings. Some may be more audio. So it all depends. Every spirit isn't able to communicate with a medium the same way. So if you're not getting pictures, or you might get pictures and then you don't worry about it. It's not you. Okay? So that's clairvoyance. So I'm wondering, have you experienced this before? We did it with the closed eyes, but you can do it with the eyes open. Oftentimes, people call this daydreaming. If you just kind of stare off into space with your eyes open, can you go somewhere with your mind? Can you think about what you're going to be doing next? Can you think about who you talked to last in that conversation? Try it for a moment. Just gaze off and think about what you had for breakfast. Where did you go? Were you cooking eggs in a pan? Were you pouring yourself coffee in your favorite mug? Can you be there? Can you see that again? Can you replay it through your mind? Well, If you did, congratulations. Again, clairvoyance. You're not exactly experiencing that right now. You're experiencing with a mind journey. That mind journey is courtesy of clairvoyance. So, if you were the type of person that thought that you would love to be clairvoyant, but you never have experienced it, and you just did now, and you remember many times before, pat yourself on the back. Sometimes it takes somebody else to let you know that not everybody can do that. Not everybody's really good at that. So that is clairvoyance. Let's talk about clairaudience or clear hearing. Have you experienced that? Let me show you or discuss a couple of different ways that you could experience clairaudience. Number one, have you ever woken up or during the day had a certain song playing in your head? Maybe it's just the words or the lyrics. Oftentimes, it may sound like somebody's playing that song on the radio in your mind. All the background music, all the right voices. Have you started to hear a song in your mind and then turned on the radio in your car? And guess what's playing? Have you been doing something I would consider mindless, like maybe cleaning or something like that, or driving, and all of a sudden you thought of someone, their name came to mind, and then they called, or you talked to them later, or they called you later? These are all examples of clairaudience. And basically, a good way of telling whether this was spirit or you is to think back and see if there's a thought pattern involved or a thought train. If you were driving to work and as you're driving to work, you were planning from the outset that you were going to go from home to work. And then after work, you're going to go from work to home. And in the middle, you decided that you were going to stop at a roadside store and get gas, or you were going to uh, call somebody. That is a good indication that that was spirit led because you weren't really considering to do that. It wasn't like maybe you knew you were almost out of gas. It was just like, I better go to the gas station, or I better call mom, or better call my brother, or I haven't heard from him in a while. And then you end up calling. So those are things that aren't part of a thought train, and those are indications that that clairaudience, that thought, has been transferred to you by spirit. So next time that happens, acknowledge it. Go do it, and then say thank you for the communication and the practice. Also, when we think about clairaudience, it can sound like your own voice, or it could sound like the voice of another. Like, for instance, when you hear that song playing, maybe it's a song, it's your favorite song, maybe it's a song that you haven't heard in many, many years. It might sound like the band playing it. When we think thoughts that sound like our own voice, it's almost like if we were to pick up a book and start to read it within our head, or a package. So you can try that now. Okay. So it can sound exactly like that, or it can sound like the voice of another. Most of the time, it sounds like it's just coming from your mind. If you weren't thinking of it, then there it is. An example of this is when we're doing readings for people and we've cleared our mind. We don't have any of these thought trains going. We're just observing the thoughts and the words that come to mind. So if you have a word or a name that comes to mind and you weren't thinking or searching for a name, well, the natural understanding of this is that that name, that clairaudience is coming from spirit. So that's something you write down, something you communicate. Now, the other important thing about using our clairs and our senses to start to read is that we don't hold things back. And when we speak with authority and we speak with words that are positive. Let's just take it for instance so it makes more sense to you. If you're doing a reading for somebody and the name Michael comes in, you're not reaching actively for this name. You're not thinking of this name. It just comes to you. Michael comes into your head as if you said it or somebody else said it. What you want to try to avoid is saying, I think that an M name might be connected to you. There's a lot of things. I'm going to pause that and go back. Now, in this example, you heard Michael. It might have sounded like you were reading it in your head somewhere, but it just came from nowhere. So the first thing is you're saying, I think. As soon as we start to bring these words like I think into our work, it automatically casts doubt and brings in our conscious mind to come in and tell you that you're making this up because you're thinking. So you've got clearly Michael, you're thinking. And then I'm thinking an M name. Did you get an M name? Technically you did. Okay? But it's not the whole truth. See, you got a specific name. But now you're thinking and you're worried and you're concerned that you're not right. So you're saying, I don't want to commit to Michael, but that's what I heard. So I'm just going to say M. And if it was Matthew or something, good, you're right. Okay, but that's not exactly what we're looking for here. We're looking for you to be exact and not hold it back. Say what you got. Later on, you're going to be understanding how to really make this better for you. You're going to understand how to put things together and what certain symbols might mean. But for now, as a beginner, you don't want to think about anything. You don't want to muddy the waters by saying it's maybe an M name. Get Michael? Say Michael. So, for instance, and we'll go over this in a different video, but instead of saying, I think I've got an M name, say, I feel there's a Michael attached to you. There's a Michael connected to you. Will that make sense? Does that make sense? And know that when we get into this and we say this, people might be a little bit nervous. You might be a little bit nervous. And they might not remember or make the connection right away. But I guarantee you something. When we've already committed to this work, and you're already committed to this work, look, you're taking this class. Spirit will show up for you. And when you get the information, you give the information. Will you be 100% accurate all the time? Probably not. Is that okay? Absolutely. So let's get on to another thing. clairsentience. This is empathy. Clairsentience is feeling. Now, have you ever walked into a room and you would say to yourself, you've heard people say, man, you could cut the tension with a knife in this room. Something's happened. Somebody's not happy. There was just a fight going on here. Huh. Or, boy, you can really read a room. All of these things are really moving onto our spiritual sense of clairsentience or clear feeling. It's the empathy. It's the thing that I feel is most strong and easy to connect to if you pay attention to it. Now, as a reader and as a medium, as soon as you start to connect to spirit, and I'm feeling it now, as soon as you connect to spirit, one of the things that you're going to feel more often than not is appreciation and love. They are very powerful feelings. And when you connect to spirit and you bring forward their messages to their people that are here and you make healing happen, the feedback that you get from spirit is off the charts. Amazing. Because not only are you feeling it from them, but you're feeling it from the person that's come to you. And through you, you're feeling the merge of that love and that appreciation. And it just goes through and it consumes the entire room. It's an amazing feeling. And it's the one that you can't deny. You might be like, I don't know if I felt that before, but I guarantee you, the first time you feel it, you'll know and you'll be like, wow, pretty cool. So you'll also feel other feelings. And usually these feelings, they're going to be like around your solar plexus region. They're going to be your gut feelings. You're going to feel nervous. You're going to feel excited. You're going to feel the love. You're going to feel what regret feels like. You're going to feel sadness. You're going to feel joy. All these feelings, it's like when you hear the saying, like, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, a feeling is worth 1,000,000. It's so tough to explain, but you'll know. And you'll start to understand what these feelings are like the love and the joy, you're going to know. And when you know there won't be any doubt, and you'll be able to convey that message. There is love here. There is joy here. There is pride here. And as soon as you tap in, when you tap in to this clairsentience feeling, it's like it opens up everything else. It opens up the understanding, it opens up the hearing, it opens up the seeing. It just opens everything up. It's the way I feel this is that this is like the gateway in. As soon as you connect with that feeling and you're able to verbalize it, so much more information comes into you from that spirit connection. And then also you're bringing in the feeling of that person that came in to get the message from you. And it's just an amazing back and forth. So this is a really good one to have. Again, if you've ever had a gut feeling like you're not doing the right thing, maybe you're worried, you're going into the job interview and you get kind of the butterflies, you're feeling that. You can walk into a room and know that somebody's been in a fight. You can talk to a friend and ask them if they're okay. And you're asking them because you're already feeling this, right? and they're saying yes, they're okay, and then as they're saying yes, they're okay, you're also feeling that that's not right. So you're picking up these clairsentient feelings, and I know you have done it. It's clairsentience. So we've done clairvoyance, we've done clairsentience, we've done clairaudience. Let's talk about claircognizance. Okay, claircognizance. Now this one was one that really kind of threw me off. It's a knowing. And the example with Michael, that's not claircognizance. That's clairaudience. Having the name pop in or download it or hearing it, that's clairaudience. Claircognizance is when you hear it or you feel it and you know something. When you hear Michael and you know that he's a son. When you feel the joy and you know it's because of a decision that somebody has made. When you feel the feeling of love and you know that they just love that person so much. When you're delivering a message to somebody and you're hearing the message and you're feeling the message and you're telling somebody that that person that has passed is always with them and they appreciated all the time that they spent with them, all the extra moments, how they helped out, and you, as you're saying this, you know it's true. You know it's true. That is claircognizance. You're just knowing. You're not sure how you know, but you just do. When you experience this, it's usually within a flow of information when you're really getting into it and one thing moves into another, into another, into another, almost rapid fire quickly. And as we go into that, and you're telling people how they were and how they felt and what happened, at the same time, you'll know. And you'll just say it. You'll just flat out say it. You'll say, and I know that's true. And that's claircognizance. It's just knowing that what you're getting is actual fact. And that's one of those supporting feelings. It's a feeling of supporting as you're doing it. You just know, and that's again one of those things. It's like the feelings of love and joy and peace. Um, it's just something that once you experience it and you know it, you'd be like, that's it. Okay. So let's finish off on a couple that are not as common. I have experienced both of these, but they're not a lot. That's like clear smelling and clear tasting, Clairgustance and Clair olfactors or something like that. Basically, being able to smell and taste something that's not physically there. Some oftentimes people will like smell like tobacco or perfume. I was doing a Reiki session with somebody and I smelled rose. It smelled like old lady rose to me, um, like a sachet type of thing or perfume. So that connected with the person that I was working with. Um, taste, you might get a taste of like an alcohol or like a cookie or a pasta sauce or something like that. And these smells and these tastes would have to be something that you've experienced before. It's not like you could taste or smell something that you haven't experienced before. So you'll have to experience these things. It's always good to be open in the physical world here to experience a lot of things so that you can have this relation and spirit can basically pluck it from your internal memory banks and pull that forward to you so that they can live it through you or deliver it through you. Some people may be using these, spirit may be using your gifts of these in order to bring forward some of their information. Like, for instance, if you're tasting like or smelling a pipe tobacco, oh, I smell a cherry pipe tobacco. This person that's come in used to be a pipe smoker. Does this make sense to you? Do you understand this? And they would. It would just be something that would help them to identify who this person is. Because when we're really tapping into our senses to communicate, the idea is just to quickly get an understanding of who it is that we're talking to bring them back, and then really deliver their message. It's not all about recalling every detail about the person, and then that's it. It's really about detailing enough from that person so that that person's message can be delivered in the way that it needs to be. So, rather than having 5 or 6 different people this could be, I want to make sure that it's Aunt June here. I've got enough to identify Aunt June, and then she's going to be giving this message to that sitter. That's really what we want to do. So let's go through these really quick to wrap it up. So we have like the Clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. It's those images and daydreams that come into your mind. It may actually also be like a mind journey where you might find yourself standing in front of a house, walking through the house, experiencing things. And it could be a very faint daydreamy thing, or it can be a very specific, concrete, like you're there thing. It can be all levels in between. We have Clairaudience, which can be the hearing of words and songs within your mind. There is possible to see clairvoyantly outside the body and not subjectively, and the same thing with hearing outside the body and not subjectively, but it's less common. We have the clear feeling. That's the feelings within the gut area. We have the seeing, the tasting and the smelling. And we have the knowing. So I am willing to bet that you thought you might have had 1 or 2 of these, and you come forward and you have most of them. So there you go. That's all about your spiritual senses. Let's talk now about meditation. Some people, this word strikes fear into their hearts. They can't sit still. Well, that's okay. Lots of times I feel like we are not only distracted by being distracted, but we're also distracted by all the rules. Now, a lot of people that I have talked to and worked with do have rules. Let me tell you about some of the rules they might have. You need to sit up straight. You need to have your spine in alignment, so your head and your spine and your back. You can't be laying down. You can't cross your hands. You can't cross your feet or your legs. You need to have your hands in an open, receiving posture. You have your hands down. You should clear your mind of everything. You should be in a quiet room. All of these things are rules. And all of these things will sabotage your meditation. So here's my feeling on meditation. When we meditate, we need to be in a comfortable position because we need to be doing this because it's helping us. So if you feel comfortable crossing your hands, leaning back, or laying down, do it. I don't believe that this blocks our energy or our ability to meditate. I do think it's best for us if we choose the same place and similar time to meditate on a regular basis. That sets up the room and the atmosphere in our bodies. Understand that when we're at this time and we're in this place, it's time to meditate. Now, is meditation less effective if you do it for longer than 20 minutes or shorter than 5 minutes? I don't believe any of that. I believe whenever you can meditate and you meditate, no matter what you meditate on, nothing at all, what you see or experience, doesn't matter. Just the fact that you've done it. Because we go about our human life every day on fast forward, and we are running from this place to that place, this appointment to that appointment. And we never take any time for ourselves to reconnect. So that's what meditation is all about. And if you can just make time for meditation at the beginning of your day, before you get up, or in the evening before you fall asleep, that's good enough. So when we close our eyes and we meditate, we can focus on our breath. We can listen to music or binaural beats. We can follow a guided meditation, or we can do nothing at all. The important thing to realize here with meditation is that your mind knows exactly what to do. If you can't sit for a long time to begin with, that's fine. Start off slow and increase it. There's no set time that says you need to meditate for a certain amount of time to be effective. If you're following a guided meditation and you find yourself someplace completely different, don't beat yourself up and think you did it wrong. You did it exactly right. You're in a meditation and you're walking on the beach, but you find yourself in the forest. Okay. If you're being shown something or being guided to meet with a spirit guide and you're chatting with your mom or your dad or a friend that had passed, okay. If you're in the middle of a meditation, you think, did I leave the stove on? Well, quickly think, did you? And then bring yourself back into that meditation space. If you're meditating and all of a sudden you're thinking about what you're going to make for dinner tomorrow, reel yourself back in and concentrate. There's nothing wrong with that. Remember the keys to meditation. Try to find the same place, in the same time, and repeat. Your comfort is the most important part. Sitting up or lying down makes no matter. Having crossed arms or crossed feet or crossed legs doesn't make a matter. Being present and experiencing is what matters. If you're following a guided meditation and you're not quite there or you're seeing something different, okay. If you're meditating and you're not believing that you're experiencing anything, you're not seeing or feeling anything, that's okay. As you continue to do this, you will be building up that meditation muscle and you'll be experiencing more things more clearly as time goes by. It's all about practice. Hello, everybody. It is your teacher, Brian, and I am here to talk to you about oracle cards. I've got a deck here. It is Native Spirit, and I like them a lot. I got them through Spiritual Guru, I believe. Yeah, I think I got them from Spiritual Guru. But if you have a metaphysical shop near you, you might want to check them out, or I'm pretty sure you could get them on Amazon if you search for them. So they are Denise Lynn, DenisLin, Native Spirit cards. Now, you may have heard of, you may know what Oracle cards are, might not. Um, so Oracle cards are, and I'll show you these, they can be all sorts of different ones. These ones have some imagery and some words, okay? Some of them have phrases and themes that basically, as you pull it, it sort of reads itself. I don't like those as much. I like these ones because it's mostly the visual. Okay. It also comes with a book, like most do, and inside the book, it it tells you about each of the cards and what their meanings are. Okay. And this is a psychic tool. Another one you may have heard of is tarot cards. Tarot cards are very specific cards in the deck. They have like cups and wands and swords. They also have like ace, king, queen, knight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. And each of them have, again, their own meanings. They have a book with universally accepted meanings, different spreads you can do. But in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how I use the oracle cards. Now, the oracle cards also, as you're starting readings, you may want to use these as a tool. And basically, the way that I am recommending that you use this is the first thing you do is you will shuffle them. However you want, these cards are pretty big, so kind of shuffling them like a deck of cards is a little tough. I'll tell you a story about oracle cards. So I've had this deck for a while, and I've pulled them out in maybe 2 dozen, 3 dozen readings. And through the deck that has 44 cards, I have only usually seen about maybe 4 or 5 different ones. That's shuffling them. So interesting. Sometimes I've felt that as we're doing these cards and we're reading them, the message resonated with me as well as the sitter. So you might find that too. So what we're going to do is we're going to shuffle them how you feel. If one of the cards comes out or you feel like just stopping there, that's usually a good one to take. If one happens to fall out as you're shuffling it, it's called like a jump card. So I've got a card here. I'll just pull the one on the top. We're going to use these as a psychic tool for your intuition. So we're not really going to pay attention right now to the definition. So this is one of the ones that I've seen before, and I think I've showed it to you a couple of times. But I really, literally did shuffle this deck, and this is the smudging ceremony. So the idea of using the oracle cards as a psychic tool is you can ask a question, and the question might be, what do I need to know? Or what does this person need to know? Or maybe it's a question about that person's life or journey or path, or maybe their career or their relationships. So, what you want to do as a medium and using these tools is when you pull a card like this, an oracle card, you want to look at the words and then look at the pictures and see what comes to mind. What's coming to mind when we are looking at this intuitively? What words are we seeing or hearing? What feelings are we getting? What are we noticing? Okay. Well, we're noticing that bundle of the abalone shell and looks like sage. It also looks like there is smoke coming from that. Looks like it's in the forefront, the foreground. Okay. There's also what looks like a stick right there in the front. And on that, I'm not sure if you can see, but it looks like there's feathers. And it looks like I would say the sun is, what do you think? Is the sun rising or is the sun setting? To me, I feel like that sun is rising. And to me, it feels like we need to clear out all the clutter from our lives. Oh, you notice here? Those look like cave paintings. We are clearing out the clutter in our lives. We're going back to basics. We're getting things in order for a new day. We're wiping out all the things in the past that might not have served us. Got this beautiful, beautiful green grass and wildflowers. We've got nature, a beautiful sunrise in the background, beautiful mountains, creation all around us. We're grounding, we're clearing, we're becoming our best self, and we're erasing any of those negative traits that we've had, that we've dealt with. And things are looking up. So this is a great way to use an oracle card. And you can do a one card pull, asking that question, what does this person need to know most? Or you could do a 3-card pull, and that is one down, another down, and another down. And one would be the past. And every time I've got Grandmother Earth, it has meant that the grandmother figure for this person is present. So your grandmother is present. Sweat Lodge is present, is the present time. That's the 2nd card. This is meaning that you are developing, you are growing, you are learning new things. You're being supported in your learning. In your future, medicine woman, medicine man. So in your future, you are becoming a healer, and you will be looked upon for that healing ability. Your grandmother's working with you. You are learning new things. You're discovering who you are and who you will be. And when you have that right message, you'll feel it within your body too. You will feel it like I am right now. So the oracle cards are a great way for you to augment your other senses. It's a nice spiritual tool to use. You'll already be getting the feelings within your body, the hearing, the seeing, all that. And this is just going to fill that gap, or it's going to complement it in the way that it's repeating what it is that you're feeling throughout the reading. Okay, so you can feel free to use this within your practices and moving forward. And thank you for watching with me. So let's break this down. So inspired writing is not automatic writing. When we hear about automatic writing, what we're really hearing about is spirit using you and your hand to write. It might be in their handwriting. Some people will be using automatic writing with their non-dominant hand. So if they're a right-handed person, they'd be having their pencil or that pen in their left hand and channeling spirit so that they can write that information down. Hope that makes sense. When we are doing inspired writing, it is just basically taking a download and putting it on paper. Now, this is the way that I started, and it really, really helped take the edge and pressure off while I was doing readings. And that's to explain, first of all, what it was that we were trying to do here, and then explaining that I am going to center myself, and then I'm just going to write because I do inspired writing. And then when I feel like I'm done here, I will talk to you and let you know what's happening. So let's get into inspired writing and how we can get this done. So the first thing is to make sure you have something to write on and something to write with. Doesn't matter what kind of notebook or paper you've got there, or what kind of pen or pencil you use. That's not really the point. Just have something to write on. And let's do that. So we've got some paper here, a pencil. So really, this is what we're going to do, and this is going to be an exercise for you to get an understanding. So inspired writing, we're going to connect to a situation or an energy, whether it's the energy of a person that's sitting across from you physically or on Zoom. It's basically the same thing. Or if it's an energy you're trying to pick up from an object or an energy that you're picking up from a picture, these all can be done. So we're going to take the example of connecting to our higher self or our guides. So what we want to do is, and of course, this can be how you feel it works best for you, but we want to basically put the left side of our brain that has basically kept us alive since the moment we were born out of the way, because that's the part of our mind that likes to get in the way and come back in and interfere and try to make you feel like you're making things up and all that, put some doubts in your head. So we're going to put that aside. So when we do this, we're going to be doing some breathing exercises. Okay. So we can do this in a couple of different ways, but it really helps, I feel, as you're beginning, to take the eyes closed approach. The other way you can do this is have a soft focus on something. Like if you've got a wall there in front of your face that is pretty much plain, you can kind of focus on that wall and kind of zone out. And while you do that, you can kind of get into the Zen. You can get into that relaxed state that we want to get in. So I'm going to explain it and we're going to try it. So close your eyes and we're going to breathe. We're going to breathe 3 times, and I want you to count in your head. We're going to count in an in-breath to 4. We're going to hold that for 4. We're going to let that out for 8. So 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out. Okay, so let's try it. Let's close our eyes. And we're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a second breath in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a third breath in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Open your eyes. This is relaxing our body. Now I'm going to do what we call a body scan. So you can have your eyes closed or just have them open. And basically we're going to scan with our awareness. So imagine looking at or visualizing the top of your head all the way down through your body, through your torso, your arms, legs, all the way down to your feet. And when we do this, we're going to be searching for areas of tension. Are you holding your shoulders up? Are you tensing your feet or your back? If you notice that, what you're going to do is just release that pressure and release that tension. Okay, so we're going to scan with our breathing. Just breathe normally. If you find any areas that you pass, mine's the shoulders a little bit, and I relax that. And my feet a little bit, relax. Okay, good. Now we're relaxed. That's good. The second part is we want to set an intention. And our intention is to connect with our spirit guides. And it's okay if you don't know what their names are or who they are or however many you have. This is not really critical at this point. We're just going to set our intention. Spirit guide, please come forward and speak to me through my inspired writing. and tell me anything that I need to know today. And it doesn't exactly need to be that, but have the intention and the idea that you want to connect with your spirit guide and that you'd like them to come in and assist you with inspired writing to give you a message that you need to hear today. So then you pick up your pencil and it's time to go. So you're going to clear that mind. We're going to actually tell our left side of the brain, step aside, conscious mind, step aside, and allow me to be a clear and open channel for this inspired writing. If you'd like, you could take another couple of deep breaths, put the paper on the pencil, or put the pencil on the paper, and begin to write. What is it that I need to know? Any thought that comes into your mind. Right here, this is from your spirit guide. Okay, don't let that part of your brain come in and say you're making this up. We've cleared our mind, we've relaxed our body, now it's time to write. So let's just start to write. And if you feel that you are having a tough time getting started, you can start by writing, my spirit guide wants me to know. And just keep going. And as you do this, just keep going for a few minutes and then I'll stop you. You might actually also find yourself sketching or doodling or making marks on the paper. You might find yourself circling certain words or underlining them, just feeling compelled to do that. And this is all part of it. Now, sometimes you'll find that you are going pages and pages. You've got a page filled up. You're flipping it over. You're trying a different page. All this stuff here, you're finding that as you do inspired writing, this is going to be your connection, the way that the flow works. At no point should you feel like you just don't know where to go, because that's that conscious mind getting involved. And when that happens, we want to just push it aside again. Okay, move over here, step out of the way, mind, conscious thought, left hemisphere, whatever you want to call it. Step aside and let me work with my spirit guides and my spirit aspect. So again, to recap, with inspired writing, it is not the same as automatic writing. Automatic writing is when spirit is writing through us, through a channel. Inspired writing is when your thoughts are coming into your mind and you're just putting them on paper. And thoughts that come to mind could be words, it could be shapes, it could be sentences, it could be complete paragraphs. The more and more you do this inspired writing, the deeper and the clearer it is going to become. And another tip is, when you are doing inspired writing, if you notice, you might be drawing symbols, you might be circling words, you might be repeating words and phrases, you might be underlining them and not really aware that you're doing, because you're in the flow of this. But this is going to be a great tool for you to use with any of your readings for psychic readings or mediumship readings. So you just get in a focused state by breathing, relaxing the body, inviting whoever it is, your spirit guide, your higher self, spirit communicator for somebody that's sitting with you, or tuning into a picture, or tuning into an object, and then just go, what do I need to know about this object? What do I need to know about this person? What's the message that's coming through for me? What do I need to know for today? What do they need to know for today? That's important. So when you do that, you're going to be really good with that inspired writing. So it's recommended that you try this often and repeat and do this and add it into the way that you do readings. Let's talk about spirit guides. You have so many. And a lot of people say, your spirit guide can't be your grandmother, or your spirit guide can't be your mother. Sort of true. Sort of true. Your literal main spirit guide can't be somebody that you spent time with in this lifetime. They could be somebody that you've had a relationship or a connection with in previous lifetimes. But your main guide will not be somebody like your grandmother from this timeline. Does it mean that your loved ones can't guide you and be in that group of spirit guides? That's not true. They can, and they are, and they will. Okay? So when people say your spirit guide can't be your grandmother, it's half right. They can guide you. They will be present. They will be present to your growing and your developing. They will absolutely be helping. 100%. Your main spirit guide, though, the one that was chosen by you before you came into this world, that one, not somebody that spent time with you in this lifetime. So that's kind of the difference there. So how do spirit guides work with us and through us? Well, they gently guide us through our spiritual senses in order to show us the way. And the way is the path that we chose. They can't make you do things. They can suggest things. As a matter of fact, I think back to one time that I had made a silly purchase, and the entire time as I was beginning to do it and all through the process, and literally 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks after, I had that feeling, the reoccurring, not a good idea, not a good idea, not a good idea, but I did it anyway. And I regretted it, and it took me a while to actually release and get over that. So when you come into times like that, like you're about to do something and you kind of get that, I shouldn't do that sort of feeling, or hearing that repeatedly and feeling and hearing that, that's your guides trying to help you not make the wrong choice. When you are practicing mediumship, they're going to be working with you, tuning your spiritual body to work best with your physical body and with spirit as they come in. Spirit guides can work with the spirits that come in to ensure that they are working the best with you and communicating with you in the best way that you presently can communicate. They will be cheerleading you from the other side, helping you, guiding you into reading the right books, watching the right videos, doing the right meditations. Most of the time, what they're suggesting to you seems to come out of nowhere. You might be in a class, or you might be reading a book, or you might be listening to a song or a podcast, or something like that. You'd be like, how did I possibly stumble upon this? Thanks, guides. So they're going to be doing that. When you participate in deeper communications in classes like leading circles and participating in circles, you'll have other guides that are specifically around those tasks. If you're thinking about doing a a particular skill or a new job or something like that, oftentimes you'll have special guides that will come in to help you with being creative and navigating this particular part of your journey. And they'll come in and out as needed. And you can ask for them, or they can just come in. Your main guide will bring them in. Encouragement will come, of course, from your loved ones who are in spirit and your friends. And oftentimes we'll find that our friends and loved ones come in almost unexpectedly around special anniversaries like their birthdays or dates of their passing or significant events in your life. And you'll feel them closer. So when we feel our actual spirit guides, we typically feel them in a different way. Each individual spirit has a fingerprint and a way that they come to you. It might be when they are present with you, you think of them, or they're present with you and you hear a specific song in your head, or they're present with you and you smell a specific thing, or you get a special sensation in your body. Maybe it's a tingling in the back of your head, or maybe it's a pressure in your right. Oftentimes when we feel spirit guides, we feel their presence behind us and above us. And we feel them standing behind us or off to the side and above us. Where typical other spirits that come in to communicate with us, we might feel on the right side or the left side in front of us. But keep in mind, no matter where you go, whether you're thinking about them or not, you are supported by your guides and your teachers and your loved ones in the spirit world, which is not far off or different from where we are. We occupy the very same space. Okay, so what I want to talk to you today about is what I call the cloak. So what I've found is that when you are making connections to energy, whether it's energy of the person that's sitting for you, the client, the sitter, however you want to call it, or a spirit, it helps to visualize what you're doing. Okay, and what I mean by that is imagine a cloak, a heavy cloak. I imagine like a weighted blanket. So I have a weighted blanket, and I know the feeling of that. So imagine this is a cloak with a hood, and if you are tuning into somebody that you're reading, or tuning into a picture, or tuning into a spirit communicator, imagine after you have centered yourself with breath, after you have scanned your body for any of the tension that's hanging out there, imagine if you're sitting across from that person that you take the cloak that they wear and put it on you, and then feel your body. How is it feeling to you? You're physically saying with intention and with visualization that you are connecting to their energy. And it goes for spirit also, or pictures. Imagine putting that cloak on. How are we feeling? How is our mood? Are we feeling nervous? Are we feeling anxious? Are we feeling scared? Are we feeling calm? Are we feeling joyful? Are we feeling love? These emotions. Remember that when we're putting on this energy, when we're tuning in specifically and intentionally to energy, we're going to pick it up in every way. We're going to pick it up with our mind, with our clairaudience, with our feelings, with our knowing, with our seeing. We're going to pick it up in all these ways. So we want to, as we do this, think of it. How am I feeling? Am I male? Am I female? Sometimes you might know. Sometimes you might not know. Do I feel like I'm taller? Do I feel like I'm shorter? Do I feel like I'm skinnier? Do I feel like I'm bigger? Do I feel like, what's the relationship? Do I feel like I'm a brother, a mother, a father, an aunt, an uncle, a friend? And then as you put that cloak on, you can do the inspired writing. What am I feeling? What am I knowing? What's the message here? And it could be seemingly all over the place. But what you want to do with a reading, whenever we connect and tune into energy, is we want to have a zero filter. So we don't want to filter ourselves and say, this doesn't seem right, this seems weird, this seems like it doesn't belong. When we do that, we filter the message, and we really don't want to do that. We want to bring it all in. If it's something that doesn't sound right, then that would be something that you approach the client with. I am feeling that there is fill in the blank. Would you understand that? Let's take a for instance example. And remember too that some of the messages that come through might not be comfortable. Let's say that you're putting on this cloak and you're feeling like there's tension. There's family tension between a child and a parent, and you feel like the child in the situation. You could say, I am feeling that there is a conflict between you and a parent. I'm feeling that this conflict is one that makes it very uncomfortable for you to spend time with them. Would you understand this? And what you're going to find is that they say yes. Okay. So we are taking this feeling that we get that we get in our body when we tune into this energy and this information and these situations that come in, and we're just interpreting them. We're not setting it aside because it makes us uncomfortable. We're saying it in a way that is loving and getting to a point. Because perhaps, and this is generally the case, if the client has a parent who has passed and the relationship was not that great, they're probably, the message that they want to get to you is that they're sorry, that they acknowledge that it wasn't a great relationship, and they want to fix that, they want to heal that. And that may be the most important message that they're trying to get through to help them move on too. So if we were to understand this in our body and not say it, that healing and that connection aren't done. Okay? Because you don't know on either side here, the spirit side and the earth side, what needed to be done there. And that message may be critical. So try not to censor yourself, put on that cloak, tune in with all of your senses. If you want to do another tool, pendulum, inspired writing or something like that, definitely do that. If you want to just speak from your heart right to that connection, you can do that too. What you're going to do as you move through these lessons and you discover and you practice on your own, that some things are going to be really comfortable and feel right to you, just go with them. And as you learn and as you grow, more tools are going to come into your bag once your spirit guides are familiar with how to operate with you and connect spirit to you. All these things will change. So that's the cloak. Hello there, this is Brian, and we are going to get in today how we can be professional.
And I am going to start with the very basic, and that is a program called Calendly. And this program will be your savior. It's going to be an excellent way that you can book readings and manage your calendar and manage your time and manage everything right from this tool. So let's get started with it. I'm going to open up our browser. We're going to go to www.calendly.com. Okay, so this is what I use, and I'm going to show you mine to give you a good idea. But before we do that, let's look at the pricing. All right, so the basic, the essentials, the professional, I believe that is what I am using. But let's take a look, because I'll tell you the things that you really, really, really need. So the calendar connections per person, one is fine. It's just going to be you. So what this means is basically when somebody books with you, it'll show up on your calendar. So you don't have to do it. You don't have to be in your calendar and on Zoom and booking everything. It's really all handled by Calendly, including eventually payments. So that's really good. So it'll connect to the Google Calendar, which most people use, Office 365 and iCloud calendars. Pretty sure people, for the most part, have Google calendars, and all of the different levels there allow that. Access Calendly on your mobiles, all of that do that. Active event types. Okay. So here's where the difference is going to be. So as you're starting, you really only need one event type, a reading. And that's going to be for the duration that you want. So you could actually, in this case, go with the free version. And what you're going to be doing as you start is you're going to be using one-on-one events. So all of them do that. You can create polls. I'll tell you that I don't really use that. You can create one-off meetings. In this case, I don't use that. Collective one-offs is a new feature. Okay, you don't really need that. Customize your booking link. They all do that. So that would be like mine is calendly.com/Brian-medium. So that's going to be good for you. Create group events while you're starting. That's not really necessary. Automated event notifications, email invitees about the events, cancellations. That's really good and handy, and it's included in all of them. Send your invitee email reminders and follow-ups. Okay, so for me when I started, the follow-up part was kind of important to me. So this might be starting to turn into at least the essentials, the $8 a month plan. And the reason is, as you're beginning and if you're doing free readings to start and kind of build up your clientele like I did, it's going to be really helpful for you to have an automatic email get sent out even right after the event or the next day saying that you're looking for feedback, so that you can get it for your own self, and when you decide to put up your website, you can have these as testimonials. Okay, so now we've got that is a little bonus feature for the paid version. Customize email notifications and reminders. Let's see what that says. Send custom emails to invitees with the information they need for the event. This happens anyway, and I'm pretty happy with the. And I don't believe I changed it, so the default is fine. Get meeting notifications via text. I really haven't asked the people that have signed up with me if they really appreciated that. But personally, what I feel is that emails get lost. Like I have a lot. My cat just shook his head and got me all covered. So for me, the text is really good because it's hard to miss. It's bang, it's in your face. It's not buried. So that one starts at the $12 a month, which is the one that I have. Update your cancellation policy. This isn't super important. The workflows, now that's like if somebody, you can say that if somebody books with you, then you're going to send them this, and then 2 days later you're going to send this. Not as important when you're beginning. Add links to your confirmation page. So I don't do this. The confirmation page just says, hey, thanks for signing up, and that's fine to start with. Redirect your invitees, let's see, automatically to another site after booking. Not really important. Eventually, maybe you'll want to do your website. For me personally, it would be back to the calendar to book more. And view metrics and reporting. I don't use this. Okay? So, for now, free is okay. Let's take a look at the other things. Okay. All right. Teams we don't really care about. Customizations. Remove Calendly branding. It's fine. I don't mind that. You shouldn't mind that. Add branding to your booking page. Like I've got my picture there. That's on all of them. Customize the colors. I don't feel that's important. Integrations is important. So add Calendly to your website. I haven't done this yet. I guess I'll check it out. This must be a new feature. It's included in everything. App integrations. See, one of the integrations that's important here is Zoom. Now, Zoom is a paid service, so you might want to use Google Meet. That's free. But all of them have the ability to connect to Zoom. And that's what I personally have been using. That's going to be another one of the videos in this course. HubSpot, don't use it. MailChimp, yes, I did use that. And that was really important to collect the people. So I'm giving away these free readings. In exchange, people are giving me their email address. So if something else comes up, I have this list of people that I can send out to. And depending on how many different readings you give as you're practicing for free, that list might be pretty large. And given the fact that if they had a really nice reading with you, it'd be really good to reconnect with these people. So that's a really good thing to have. Eventually, not really necessary in the beginning, but that's in the 12. Slack, Intercom, nah. Salesforce, no. Eventually, you're going to want to collect payments. So you can actually have within your event a part where people can pay to schedule that event. So if you book readings online, that would be able to not only schedule through Zoom or Google Meets your one-on-one reading, but also collect the payment for it. So that's really handy, and that's eventually what you're going to want to go. So if you can swing it, at bare minimum to start, I would go with basic, which is free. But if you can swing it and it's worth it to you to be able to, at first collect those email addresses in an automated way into a list, that'd be the professional version. Okay. And like many things, Calendly has two different options here. First option is if you're billed annually, it's $12 a month, so times 12. Or it's a little bit more if you just want to pay as you go, billed monthly. For the most part, I really prefer monthly. Unless you have that money lying around and you know you're committing to it, you can always cancel, downgrade, all that. So there you go. So let's go through setting it up. Actually, let's look at mine. I think that would be more beneficial. Pardon me. And this does have something called OmniAuth authentication, so you can either create a account with your email, or if you've got Google or something like that, you can sign in with that, which I do. Alright, so let's take a look. I've got actually a lot of events here. And you see some of these events are gray, and there's a button that says turn on, because they're not available on my booking page. Let me go with a student reading. Okay, so this is like what this one right here. This is what you will want to really start with. Okay, now it is totally up to you how long you want these readings to be. Now, you could be doing a 15-minute speed reading. You could do the 30-minute. That's what I started with. You could do an hour. When we're dealing with tools like Zoom, there is a free version of Zoom, and I believe they give you 30 minutes. So you want to do a 15 or a 30-minute, especially if you're using the free version of it. Okay? So let's just go through one option here at a time to give you an idea of what this would look like when you're setting it up. So the first block here is all about what this event is, and you want to give it a nice descriptive name. I have 30-minute student reading. The location you can edit, and you can choose from a phone call, the Google Meet, like I said, which is free if you have a Gmail account, Zoom, Teams, WebEx, GoTo, some custom. I use Zoom, so I'm just going to cancel it. So doing this, it automatically, when somebody books this with you, it sets up the Zoom, sends everybody the information. You don't have to do it. Again, this is why Calendly is key when you're coming out and doing this professionally, or even as you're bringing yourself up to that professional level and you're practicing. Now, second most important of that is actually giving people a description. And this description is going to appear on the booking page. So here's what I have. Feel free to copy it or to use whatever you feel, but participate in an open psychic mediumship reading with Brian, or you. These readings are free of charge. Excuse me, free of charge. You know, and obviously, if there's a price eventually for you, you'd put it in there. Please ensure that you're in a quiet area, not driving. I did actually have somebody that was driving at the time. And I can tell you one thing, when you're doing readings and people are distracted, if it's you, hopefully not, but the other person, if they're distracted, it just won't work. I would be surprised if it did. It's just too much going on. Where you are able to fully concentrate and participate, and where you'll not be disturbed by pets or others. So I had somebody also that was at a swim meet or swimming lessons, and it was loud, and they couldn't concentrate, and I couldn't concentrate. So I just make sure you put something to that effect within the description and instructions for this event. And now the event link. So this is what it's going to look like if you were to send a link out to people, which you'll be able to do, and I'll show you how to do it. It's calendly.com/whatever you chose. I'm Brian Medium, and then this is the name. So again, make it descriptive. It's a 30-minute student reading, and then you can choose the event color. Choose whatever goes with your feeling. and I chose a electric lime. So save and close. Number 2. This is all about when this will be available on your booking calendar for people to book. And you can do, people can schedule it within a certain number of weekdays or calendar days. So, in this case, what this really means is that people will only be able to book within the next month or that month, okay? They're not going to be able to book months and months ahead. So if you're in a program like I offer, which is the guided mentorship, where I work with you, and that's really a January to a December thing, you can put in a date range and say, my student readings are only going to be through the year. So you'll put the date range in here, like I have January 1st to December 2022. If you choose indefinitely into the future, they could book in 2024 for you. So this is all going to be a matter of preference. I would say, depending on your feeling, I would go within a date range. Or if you're really feeling open, indefinitely into the future. But there might be somebody that books 5 years from now when you're charging, and they booked for free. So keep that in mind. All right, so here's the duration, and they've got pre-built, 15, 30, 45 or custom. In this case, I recommend the 30 minutes, especially if you're using the free Zoom, which gives you 30 minutes. And then you can use an existing schedule if you set one up, or custom hours. I did custom hours, and here's why. I feel it best if you choose just a single day to practice. Of course, this is a practice. If you're going to be doing this professionally, set aside a day or a couple of days. And for me, I did Wednesdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I have little kids, and 8 p.m. is their bedtime. So I made myself available from 8 to 10. That gave me 8, 9, 10, 2 hours or 4 slots available. And I did it every Wednesday. Now, I can't really change these. They're gray, you see. So if I want to change the hours, I'd have to click in a box that's white, which is in the future. And I can edit all Wednesdays or just that day. And then I could choose the times or just delete it altogether. Now here's something I specifically did not use, but you may consider using it, and this is all about buffers. So you want to give yourself some buffers in between the time that people cannot book reading after reading, so you're not going in from one to the other. Now, I didn't feel a problem when I did it. I didn't run into any problems. Oftentimes I did have reading after reading, so the time management was a really important concept to grasp. But you can do one or both or none. And this just gives you the opportunity to have the time. Now the additional rules. Just a second. Okay, so the additional rules here. Now the scheduling conditions. If you give yourself slots, more slots than, so I had 4. I have 4. But if you had a more open time where people could fill in, say 10 slots, but you only really wanted to do no more than 4, you could say that there's only a 4 maximum. So once 4 of those slots are taken up by people booking, no more. So that just limits your work. The invitees can't schedule within. So this is one of those ones that if you're trying to plan your time and people are my dog. if you don't want to be surprised by someone last minute, say, scheduling with you, you might want to consider putting a schedule condition and say that, people can't schedule within a day that way, or 4 hours or 8 hours. That way you're not surprised by somebody who just books on your calendar last minute and you miss it. Time zone automatically detect. I left that alone. So secret event. If we check this and make it a secret event, it does not show up on your calendar when people go to it. I'm going to open this new browser tab here, and I'm going to go to Calendly. My page. And you see, so here's my booking page, and these are all the things that are not hidden. Okay, so these are all the things that people can book. So if you don't want this to be on your page, and at this point, as you're just starting, you only have a single event, it wouldn't really make sense. The only way people would be able to book is if they had the link that you sent to them. So in this case, as you're starting out, that might not make sense. But if you have an event that you just want to do as like, a special thank you for somebody, then you can go ahead and make it a secret event. All right, so I'm going to never mind on those changes, and I'm going to cancel. Yes, okay. So here's another one, the additional options. Now, by default, I believe that there is one box that has the option for people to invite other people, and I would just take that off. You can basically build this form around whatever you want, but I would for sure capture the name and email address. And then for this, I say share anything that would help prepare, maybe if they have a specific question. Now, I really tried both things. I tried to read what they were asking ahead of time, and then I tried just leaving it alone. It's totally up to you and how you work, whether or not you want to kind of get that question ahead of time and maybe meditate on it, or just have it and make sure that you can follow up with that and connect with those people's questions in case they're nervous and they forget. You can also, in this case I did what kind of reading. Do you want a mediumship reading? Do you want a psychic reading? Do you want a little bit of both? And then you can add other questions, and you can type the question in here. And that turns it on or off. Check the box if you want people to absolutely answer it. A one line is like you see here, just the one line, but you could also have multiple lines, like they're typing in a lot of information, like what it is you're looking for. Radio buttons, these can be one choice. A radio button is a single choice, so if it's not answer 1, answer 2, answer 3, it's one of them. If you choose one, it's not 2 or 3, that sort of thing. The other option just gives people to fill in the blank. Checkbox is people can select multiple things, like the mediumship, psychic, a little bit of both. That's a checkbox. Phone number, if you want to put somebody's, put their phone number in there. So that's that. That's the form. So whenever they sign up, they have to fill out that information, especially if you made it required. Here's the workflow. I don't have a workflow here. Notifications. So I have email notifications and email follow-ups, and I have text messages. Let's take a look at the email follow-up. Thank you for your time. Thank you for attending. And there are a bunch of what's called variables. So a lot of this information that people put in ahead of time. So you can click this button and you see like my name, who is you, the invitee name, full name or first name or last name, their email. UUID doesn't matter, nobody needs to know. event name, date, description, location. Here's the questions and answers. That block puts it all in there. But you can put individual answers in there. And this UTM stuff really doesn't matter. So maybe you can say, thank you for asking these questions or whatever. Thank you for attending. I hope that you enjoy the reading. I'd love any feedback on the experience so I continue doing things that connect to people. This is really helpful for you and for that, for your benefit as far as feedback goes, and also for, if you wanted to put that on your website as feedback. And here's where you choose 2 hours after that date, days, minutes. When is this going to be sent? Again, the power of Calendly, friends, is that you don't have to worry or remember. It just happens. So that's cool. So if you use a no reply address, that just won't come back to your email that's associated with the account. I recommend not doing that, because then you want to make sure that you want the feedback you're asking for, so you should get it. You show the cancellation policy. I didn't have one. You can basically say, please don't cancel. Confirmation. There's the confirmation page. Display the Calendly confirmation page. You can display a button with the paid version, schedule another event, and then add a link to like your website maybe. I'll redirect to an external site. Again, those are the paid versions. And then payments. When you have the paid version, you could say, I'm going to collect with PayPal, however much it is, and the payment terms, and save it. That way, that all happens, booking and payment all at once. Amazing. It's really a benefit. And then you turn it on. So that's really all there is to Calendly and setting it up. I definitely recommend, why don't you just start out with the free version, and then as you go and you're ready to take payments, just upgrade. You can upgrade anytime. The integrations here are where you want to connect to things. So video conferencing, here's Zoom. You'll need to connect Zoom or Google Meet to be able to allow those to be options for people. Your calendar, Google Calendar. Marketing, there's MailChimp. So you connect, and when you connect these things, you have to log in. I don't have MailChimp anymore. Payments, when you get there, Stripe or PayPal. PayPal's, I think, easier. People are more familiar with it. But that is it. I am so happy that you are on your way. Calendly is a indispensable tool. If you have any questions about Calendly, shoot me an email. You know how to get to me, and I will be happy to answer it for you. Until then. Hello, it's Brian again. And I am going to show you how to get going with Zoom. I hope that you, by now, are familiar with Zoom, have used Zoom. While you're doing this work, going professional, and keeping your readings to 30 minutes, you don't need a paid version. Let's go take a look. So when you head over to zoom.us and take a look at the pricing, you see that the one that I have is the $149. And again, there is a difference here between monthly and annually. Again, I prefer the monthly. But let's take a look real quick at the basic, which is free. The meeting gives you up to 100 attendees. And you're probably going to have one in this if you're doing one-on-ones. And 40-minute limit. That allows you the 30 minutes. So for each meeting can only be no more than 40 minutes. This is perfect for your 30-minute readings. You got 3 whiteboards, never use them. Group chat and file sharing, not really necessary. So there you go. You can sign up for the free, and then when you go into your Calendly, you just go into the Integrations tab, click on the Zoom tile, and there should be a Connect button here. You'll connect. It'll open up the Zoom login, put in your credentials that you created for your free account, and bing, bang, boom, you're on Zoom with Calendly, and you don't have to worry about setting those meetings up, managing the meetings, or even going back into Zoom. Once somebody books on your Calendly, it creates the meetings and the reminders and the emails. You'll know all about it, and you just click it and you're in. So this is a super easy, really quick overview of how to get going with Zoom.
Let's talk about time management. Time management is super important, especially when you start doing readings. Now, I started with readings that were 30 minutes. And I have to be honest, when I started doing this, I thought to myself, a half an hour, how could I possibly use a half an hour? That's way too long. I'll be sitting there going, I don't know what to say. It goes by so quick. I said the same thing with an hour. How could I possibly fill up an hour? It goes by so super quick, okay? So when we do readings, we have to make sure that we do time management well. And I'm going to give you my pointers for time management. Now, I suggest that when you start doing readings on your own, you will do readings for 30 minutes. And when we do 30-minute readings, it's important that, again, we respect the time management, because when I started doing this, I had 4 readings booked right in a row, and they were half-hour readings. So I didn't want to let people have to wait, make people wait for me to finish. I wanted to respect their time and respect my time. Also, as a professional, when you get out there and you're doing readings, and you have a 30-minute reading and an hour meeting, a reading, you don't want the half an hour to turn into an hour, or the hour to turn into an hour and a half or 2 hours. You have to make sure you do that. So what I did was I would have my phone ready and set a timer up, and for half an hour I would do a 25-minute timer. Nope. I've got an iPhone, so I do the clock, and then I set my 25-minute timer. I got my 25-minute timer here. And whenever that meeting is for, say it's a meeting that starts at 7 p.m. and I did all my meetings on Zoom. So if 7 p.m. comes, I hit start, whether they have signed in or not. Okay, they have to be on time. So they'll come on, I will have my timer going, I'll introduce myself, ask if they had any questions, do the reading. As soon as my 25-minute timer goes off, that's when I stop and I recap. There's a lot of things that are going to be said during a reading that they may miss because they're just most likely in a high, not stress, but like a high emotional position and situation. So it might be a blur to them. So if you have people that came through, or messages or feelings about them or answers to their questions, whatever it happens to be, when this goes off, it's good to say, okay, our time's almost up. So I'd like to just go back over what it is that we discussed today. I'm going to say, you know, your aunt came through, she said this. You asked about your career, and I'm feeling that this is happening. And then you asked about your relationship, and I feel like this is happening. So then we just recap there, and by the time you recap, you can say your goodbyes, and then you're all done. And that's a good way to respect the time. And 5 minutes, I have found, is plenty of time to recap what it is that you discussed in a half an hour reading, and to thank them and be done with it and on to the next. Now, as far as, and I'm going to use the time management video on explaining something else about readings, doing readings. And the thing I want to discuss is, of course, I want you to explore, if possible, all the different ways of being prepared for a reading. You could meditate before, you could listen to some music, you could do some incense or Palo Santo or sage or whatever it is you want to do. But oftentimes you might find yourself with back to back to back to back readings, and you're not going to have time to reset in between. So in the times that happens, I'll tell you what I've done. And it seems to work very well. So instead of being concerned about being reset and clear, you can do a couple of different things. One of them is a quick visual where in your mind, you can either close your eyes or keep them open and imagine that each session has a big chalkboard. And as you're writing on the chalkboard, with their spirit communicators that come in and their guides that come in and the messages, they're all on this board. And then you're finished up, and as soon as you click over and you're off that Zoom, you can bring out the eraser and get the chalk dust out. We're ready and we're clear, and then go. Another thing you can do is just quickly put yourself in the position that you're going to be in at the end of the reading, where you're recapping and they're just so thankful that they had the reading with you and they feel so much better, and there was lots of strong connections that came through and strong messages for them. Concentrate on the end. And by concentrating on how great it is at the end, you're leaving the middle, the actual reading up for spirit. You're not blocking yourself. However that comes through is up to spirit. You just know that at the end, it's going to be amazing, and they're going to be so happy, and you're going to be so happy with the reading that you get. So that's all about time management. Again, 25 minutes for the half hour. If you're going to do 15-minute speed readings, 10 minutes. If you're going to do hours, then why don't you give yourself 10 minutes at the end? So 50 minutes. And then just use that last 10 minutes of the hour to recap. And we do that because we want to respect the time of the people, especially you as the reader, and anybody else that's coming right after, to make sure that they have the appropriate time.
Hello, fellow seekers. Brian here. Join me in this guided meditation. Find yourself a nice, comfortable position to be in. You don't have to be sitting up. You can be laying down if you want to. And just relax. That's the name of the game. Don't feel like you have to be in any certain position while you meditate. And also, do not overthink it. Right now, I want you to take a cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. This clears the body. Taking another deep breath in and out. This clears the mind. And a third deep breath in. And out. This clears the spirit. And now I want you to imagine that you have, touching the bottoms of your feet, two small glowing balls of energy. These balls of energy are balls of relaxation. And every muscle and every bone that they touch will be relaxed. As you inhale slowly, I want you to see these lights of relaxation travel through your feet. With each muscle and each bone that they pass, they leave a small glow and relaxation. See now how this light travels up your legs, every muscle relaxing. Your calves are relaxing. The muscles in and around your knee are relaxing. Your thighs are relaxing. Any tension that's found by this light is relieved. Breathe this relaxation into your lower back now. Into the muscles in your stomach, into your mid-back, your upper back. Feel now and see how this light enters your heart. And as it does, your heart pumps relaxation throughout your body. Across your shoulders, down your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands, and to the tips of your fingers, leaving behind it a relaxing glow as all of your muscles and the tiny bones relax. See now how this relaxation travels up your neck, into your chin, the muscles around your mouth and your ears relax. Around your nose, your eyes, and your forehead, all the way to the top of your head. And you are feeling relaxed now. With the next breath, I want you to set your awareness to the root chakra, which is located at the base of the spine. See its red light, and from this light, from this red glow, emerges a root that travels straight down, and this root travels through the Earth Star chakra. It's located approximately 10 inches below your feet. Through this chakra and into the earth below. See now how these roots go deep and these roots go wide as they move towards the center of the earth. Feel the love of the earth which sustains your body while it's here upon it, traveling through the layers of grass and soft dirt, hard rock, gemstones, through all the voids, until first it reaches the core. Wrapping gently around the core and pulling forth the healing energy of the earth, the grounding energy of the earth. Inhale and pull this earth energy back up through your roots. See as the energy passes back the way it came, through the layers of earth, emerging from the soft grass, and entering once again your root chakra. And as this earth energy of grounding enters your root chakra, you are grounded and you are safe. With each breath, see the color red first expand to fill your physical body. And in the next breath, expand past your body as far above, below, and all around you into the space where you sit. You're perfectly grounded and perfectly aligned. Breathe now that energy and see how it mixes with the orange energy at your sacral chakra. Starting first small, and with the next breath expanding to fill your physical being. And with the next breath, feel as this energy expands outside of your body, filling the room that you're in, expanding as far above, below, and all around you. Breathe in that energy and that light into your solar plexus chakra located in your chest. See its yellow light first start small and then expand to fill your physical being. Expanding now into the room where you sit, as far above, below, and all around you. And now notice how your root, sacral, and solar plexus chakra are in complete open alignment. Your spirit guides are aware that you are now more open than you were just a few minutes ago. Having opened your solar plexus chakra, you are more in tune and aware of the feelings that spirit sends to you. Take a moment to sit with this feeling. Feel the presence of your soul, which is as old as time. Breathe now this energy into your heart chakra, where the yellow becomes green, where this energy glows brightly and expands to fill your physical being. And then with your intention, send it out into the room you're in, as far above, below, and all around you. And feel the love of the universe return, the love you sent. This is your passion. This is your path. Feel the love and the energy of the universe that sustains and renews you. Pull forth that energy up into your throat chakra, where the green becomes blue. First starting small, and then filling your entire physical being with the sky blue light of the throat chakra. And now with breath and intention, send this energy out into the room you are in, as far above, below, and all around you. Soak in the sky blue as your spirit guides assist you with strengthening and deepening your ability to communicate, your clairaudience. Feel as the throat chakra is activated, along with the chakras that are located in the ears. Move now further and further upwards into the center of your forehead, into the third eye chakra. Here, see the indigo as it starts small and quickly fills your physical being before expanding out into the room and the energy circle around you. Moving as far above, below, and all around you as you push it out with your intention. Feel the energizing connection that you make. Breathe that energy up into your crown chakra. And see how this violet and white starts small and then fills your physical being before expanding into your auric field as far above, below, and all around you. Feel 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your chakras are in line and open. Feel now the power that lies in a full connection to spirit and grounding love of earth. You now shine more brightly than you did when you began. Bring your awareness to the bright white light of the Holy Spirit which surrounds you in a bubble of white and gold protection. Call in your spirit guides now with the thought, asking them to be present with you. See now how the room where you're in starts to fade away, and in its place is a new space, a vast space, a grand room in its center. Is a pedestal Move forward with the help of your guide, stepping one foot in front of the other. As you approach the pedestal, you notice there's a telephone. Notice what color. Notice all the details. This is your connection to the spirit loved one you've come to communicate with. And as you step forward and pick up the receiver, feel the loving presence of your spirit guide supporting you. You know the number to dial, so reach your hand out to dial. And as the phone begins to ring, I want you to be filled with the presence of your loved one. And as they pick up the phone, feel the love that surrounds you. Spend a few moments, friends. I'll be back to take you back. As you finish up, friends, saying goodbye for now, thanking them for being here with you, and asking them to be present in a very real and knowable way as you move forward in the days and weeks ahead. Put down the phone and step back. Now become aware that you are surrounded once again by the white and the violet lights. And as the great hall disappears, become once again aware of your physical body. Noticing first your breath as it enters your nose and exits your mouth. Become aware of where your body touches the seat. Become aware of your feet and your hands as you start to move them. And taking your time, not rushing. When you're ready, you may open your eyes. Namaste. My name is Brian Stewart. In January of 2020, I decided that it was time to take my spiritual development seriously. I carved out a block of time and committed to giving readings and connecting with spirit. I've had amazing and life-changing results. I want you to have the same experience that I did. I want you to know yourself. That's why I'm here to help you discover the spirit within. Hello, Seeker. I just wanted to say a big thank you to you for allowing me to be part of your journey. If you like content like this, I invite you to check out my social media links that are found in the description and to subscribe or like so that you are aware as soon as new content's posted. Good luck on your journey and enjoy the episode. Hello, Seekers. It's Brian here. What I wanted to do today was to give you a little bit of homework. And this homework is going to help you develop on many different levels. It's going to exercise a lot of your spirit senses. And because our spirit senses are, in essence, like muscles, the more we use them, the stronger they become. This technique and the spirit tip is one I like to call your spirit mailbox. So what I want you to do right now is to make sure that you're in an area where you're not going to be disturbed and you're able to close your eyes. So I want you to close your eyes right now, and we're just going to take a couple of cleansing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. We'll do another in and out. And one more in and out. Okay, good. What we're doing with these breaths is we're just relaxing. It's important to relax and to clear the mind. With your eyes closed now, I want you to imagine that you are standing in front of a mailbox. And I want you to pay attention to the mailbox. Look around the mailbox in your mind and within your mind. Notice its color. If it has or does not have a flag that you can pull up and push down. Spend a moment to reach out your energetic hand in your mind and touch and feel the surface of the mailbox. Manipulate the flag up and down. Feel how it feels in your hand. Feel how the outside surface feels as you brush your fingers over it. I want you now to put your awareness on the door to your mailbox. See now in your mind how your finger fits perfectly in the latch to pull it open. But before you do, I want you to notice if there is anything written on the outside of the door. Maybe your name, or it could be a message, or maybe it doesn't say anything at all. And now I want you to take your energetic hand, resting your pointer finger underneath the latch, and gently pull the door to your spirit mailbox open and have a look inside. Notice that there isn't anything inside right now, but do notice what the inside surfaces of your spirit mailbox look like. Are they the same as the outside? Are they different? Is there a smell in there? Does it look large or small inside? Now I want you to imagine closing this spirit mailbox. And I want you to think of a question that you would like to have your spirit guides answer. And when we talk about questions that we want answers from our guides and guidance from our spirit guides or our higher self for that matter, we want to make sure it is a good question. What do I mean by a good question? I'm glad you asked. A good question is a question that has a timetable. When we ask questions that are too open-ended, we sometimes get silence. So it's important that if we have a question about our career, if we're not feeling happy within our job or happy within our relationship, your question could be spirit guides and helpers and angels of the highest vibration. I ask you now, will I be changing my career in the next 3 months for my highest and my best? You see, that question had many components. One of them was a time frame, 3 months. Also, I threw in there for my highest and my best. When we ask questions, it should always be for your highest and your best. So formulate your question just like that. I'll give you a minute to think of it and to reframe it in a way that you'll get an answer. And now that you've set the intention of your question and sent it to your guides, I want you to notice when we look back at our spirit mailbox that the flag is up. And now it's your opportunity to open the door and look inside. And this time, when you do, you notice there's an envelope inside. Go on and remove it and close the door again. As you hold it in your hands, notice that on the outside of the envelope is your name. I want you to turn that envelope over and carefully open it and take out the letter within. And I want you to notice that there is something written on the papers. that you hold in your hands. Take a moment to look at it with your spirit eyes. Feel it within your body. Listen in your mind. If you're not seeing anything, it's okay. It takes practice. Feel it. What's the answer that you feel inside your solar plexus chakra, inside your chest? What is the emotion that comes regarding your question? If you can't feel it, listen. Do you hear words in your mind? It might sound just like your own voice. What are those words saying to you in regards to your question? And finally, what do you know from holding this letter from your spirit guides about their answer for you? And as we do this exercise in this spirit mailbox, I want you to realize, understand, and recognize that with your intention alone, your spirit guide is present, fully hears your question, and is giving you an answer. It's up to you to feel, know, hear, or see the response. Be open to any way that it makes itself known to you. And if you don't feel like you heard, felt, know, or saw, try again. Namaste.
Hey, Seekers, it is Brian, and it's so good to be back with you. I know it's been a while. I wanted to talk to you about something that I think you'll find really interesting, and it will give you a new perspective on your journey. Now, I'm assuming that you are listening to this podcast because you are really interested in spirit communication. And before I get into this, what I want to do is I want to remind you that every Tuesday evening from 8 p.m. to 9:30, so that's an hour and a half, and that's Eastern time every Tuesday night, I do have a mediumship development circle that I run, and it's on Zoom. We've got people from all over that are regulars, and there is it's an open circle, so you don't need to be an expert. You could be a beginner, and it's a great opportunity to come and learn and experience and practice in a open and non-judgmental atmosphere. Also, I do hold a guided meditation on Saturday evenings, and I will have to check, but I believe that is 10 p.m. Eastern every Saturday. And you can just jump on. You don't have to have again, this is on Zoom. You don't have to have your camera on. You can just jump on and listen and relax and get in a good guided meditation. It is different every time. I know I've had a couple of people ask me that. I just let spirit guide me into where they feel that you need to be, and that's where the meditation comes from. So it's a great way to kind of seal up your week and recenter yourself. So that is free. That is on Saturday nights. And then again, I have the Mediumship Development Circle, which I have every Tuesday night from 8 to 9:30 Eastern time.
on Zoom, and that's $20. I do also have folks that have signed up for Circle membership, and that is $40 a month, and it gives you access to all of the weekly mediumship circles. So that's every Tuesday. So 20, 40, 60, 80, $80 worth of practice a month, and it only costs you $10 a session, which is super cheap. And everybody that goes there has an amazing time, and they really do feel better, and they are getting more confident. So I encourage you to do that if you feel called. I am also doing, you can pre-register for my 2022. I can't believe it's almost 2022. My 2022 mediumship mentorship class. In 2021, which is the first year I did it, I've got 3 students, and believe it or not, I believe all 3 are going to take it again because they love the practice, they love the interaction. You can take a look at my website, Bryan-Medium, BRYAN-medium.com, and take a look at booking them for some free student readings. And now, here we go. So what I wanted to talk to you about is for those that are looking to make spirit connections, to really get into the mediumship space, we have to be in the right mindset. And I bet you that you're capable of doing this. Well, I know you're capable of doing this. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to this. You just need the right mindset. And when you get into the right mindset, then you're going to see increases in productivity and confidence and results. And this is what we're looking for, right? Results. And the results come from confidence. So I'm going to give you some things today that you can take back with you in your practice and try out and see what works best. What I want to tell you to begin with is that don't be hung up so much on if you're doing it right. You know how to do this. Your body knows how to do this. You just need to push aside that conscious mind that wants to interfere and just be open. And we're going to do that with some visualizations. Now I'm going to give you some examples of visualizations to use. And you just choose one of them to try and practice, or whatever you feel like calls to you. And then I want you to use it. I want you to start putting a little bit of structure around your practice. And if you're kind of shaking your head and saying, yeah, I need to start practicing, well, you need to start practicing on the regular basis. That's why the Saturday guided meditation is great. Tuesday, obviously great. So just stop making the excuses and get out there and do it. And the first thing you're going to do is this. So we are all capable of connecting with the spirit world. And it's just getting yourself, as I said, in that right mind space. So I'm going to give you a couple of ways to do this. So close your eyes right now. And I just want you to notice your breath. Nothing makes you more powerful than taking back your energy that's in the future, tomorrow and the day after and next week. That stuff that's out there worrying about what's happening. And equally, that energy that's stuck in the past, the coulda, woulda, shouldas. We're going to call that back. And we're going to put our entire awareness on now, on the being aspect of the human being that's sitting there. That's you. And you're going to either notice the air as it moves in through your nose and out through your mouth. You can put your awareness there. Or maybe you want to put your awareness on your belly. As you bring that air in, your belly area rises, and as you exhale, it flattens. And by doing this, whether it's the air as it comes in and goes out, or focusing on the belly area of the result, you're concentrating on something that's happening now, in the present, in the moment. You're being. You're not worrying about tomorrow or yesterday, what you have to do tomorrow, work coming, chores, obligations, work, school. You're not doing that. You're concentrating on the power you have now. So I want you to continue to do that for a little bit as you're relaxing your body. You're also preparing your body to be relaxed enough to receive. The energy that we feel from the spirit world at first is very subtle. It can be missed easily. It can be overlooked. Most of the time I find that it's overlooked because you're making excuses. You're saying, I was thinking about that, or of course I knew that. But the truth is, it's coming in from the spirit world, and you need to start to acknowledge that. So, how long do you have to do this, you might ask? Well, I'm going to tell you, as long as you feel. There's going to be a point that you feel like you're ready to go. And that might be a couple of breaths, might be 3, 10, 15, couple minutes. So as you're doing this, I'm going to give you a couple of visualizations that you might try. And the object of these visualizations are to get you into the mediumship zone, into that space between our worlds, where we have an expanded aura and we can invite those spirit communicators that have come here to work with you. Now I'm going to tell you something that you might not have heard before. The spirit world will never let you down. Let me say that again. The spirit world will never let you down. If you've come here with the intention to increase your abilities, your skills, your confidence, your connections with spirit, and you invite them in to be present with you as you work, they will come. They will give you and have the information that you need. You need never fear that. They won't let you fall. So you need to get out of the way and just let it happen. Now here's visualization number 1. As we enter this area, our mediumship ability, that bridge, you can imagine it as a bridge. After you're ready to go, you can imagine taking your steps up the stairs, holding the railing, and step onto the bridge. And once on your bridge, this is where, in that flat area, you will meet those spirit communicators that come to you. So if you like that, that can be your way of turning on your ability. Here's another one you might be able to try. imagine being in a basement and you're at the stairs, and it's not scary, but you're going to turn the light on, which is at the top of the stairs. So as you ascend those stairs, maybe it's quickly, maybe it's one step at a time, maybe you're imagining and counting those stairs as you move up. But when you get to the top, you've got a hanging light bulb, and you can even imagine maybe there's a special token or a symbol attached to the on-off chain. And when you reach up and you grab it and you turn it on, and that light comes on, you're in that zone, you're in that space, and you're ready to communicate. And here's another one you could try. Now, when you invite that spirit communicator to come, know that they've come and they're there. And I want you to imagine reaching out and taking their cloak. Got a cloak with a hood, and they hand it to you. And this puts you in their place. It allows you to connect on a deep level with their spirit, your spirit to their spirit. You imagine as you take this cloak, you just put it over your shoulders and you feel its weight. You put on that hood, and you feel its weight and its presence. And you start to feel the energy of the other world and the other person. Here's another one you can try. Imagine that you stand at the door of a small building, small house, maybe a small shed in the woods. And this is your area to meet. This is your mediumship area. And you reach out and you feel the door, you feel the doorknob, you feel the temperature of that doorknob, you see the color of the door. You've walked up the steps, and then when you open the door and you close it behind you, you're in. You're in that zone. Once you're in that area, once you're in that space, you can connect and communicate easily. And when you're ready to turn these things off, you leave the room, turn off the light, walk back down the bridge, down those stairs. I'm going to give you one more. Imagine yourself walking on a beach. You feel that sand beneath your feet and your toes. It's warm. You can look out at the vast ocean. You hear the waves come in, the birds in the air. Feel the sun on your face. And then in the middle of the air is a light switch hovering in front of you. And this light switch, when you turn it on, will put you in that mediumship space, that mediumship zone where it's easy to communicate and you have strong connections. And when you're ready, you just flip that switch on and you're there. And when you're ready to return, you flip it off just as easily. And then we'll bring ourselves back to that breath, feeling it, seeing it. And then back to realize that we have a physical experience that we're experiencing in our bodies. You can open your eyes. So I've just given you several ways of getting in the zone, getting in that mediumship space. They're visualizations which will help you. And whichever one you're drawn to or of your own making, try that. Enter that into your practice. So whether you're reading in a circle or with a friend or just trying to communicate and contact your loved ones and your spirit team, I want you to go through and use that trigger. And I want you to keep notes of it, how it's working, which one you tried, what you experienced. You're going to experience wonderful things. And I'd really love it if you commented and let me know which one you liked, what you thought and all of the progress you've made. So this ends the spirit tips. I promise I won't be away too much longer in between anymore. I'll be back with more spirit tips and meditations. You can always I encourage you to check out my website at brian-medium.com. And of course, the links are in the descriptions. And head on over there and book some free mediumship and psychic readings with my 2021 students. If you're feeling drawn to learn more about how this works, practice, get really serious about it, and learn how you can, make this a really serious thing in your life, I would encourage you to check out and consider a 2022 mediumship mentorship. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out during and after those readings with a Karen or Connie or Holly and ask them what they think.
My name is Brian Stewart. In January of 2020, I decided that it was time to take my spiritual development seriously. I carved out a block of time and committed to giving readings and connecting with spirit. I've had amazing and life-changing results. I want you to have the same experience that I did. I want you to know yourself. That's why I'm here to help you discover the spirit within. Hello, Seeker. I just wanted to say a big thank you to you for allowing me to be part of your journey. If you like content like this, I invite you to check out my social media links that are found in the description and to subscribe or like so that you are aware as soon as new content's posted. Good luck on your journey and enjoy the episode. Okay, we're going to take our deep breath in and out. And I'm just going to mute. Okay. And that clears our body. We take a second deep breath in and out. Our second deep breath clears our mind. And a third deep breath. This breath removes the blocks and frees our spirit to be what we're intended to be. And as we call on the healing, we ask those in spirit, our guardian angels, the ascended and descended masters, our guides for healing, our spirit doctors, to be present with us, to allow a conscious mind to move out of the way, to be a clear and open channel for the healing energy to flow through. And know with this intention it is so. We take a few moments to send healing to everyone that is present in our circle. We also send that healing out to those in spirit that have come to be with us during this time of practice and understanding and discernment. We let flow that energy of healing to those who could not make it this evening, but had intentions to be. And we send healing out to those that are listening to this. We now turn our attention to our family and our friends and our coworkers. We send healing their way. We do this by picturing them in our mind's eye, saying their name. When we're sending the healing to our friends and family and our coworkers, and we're picturing them in our mind's eye, when we're saying their names in our minds, know too that you can picture in your mind's eye the place that they live, the house, the apartment, wherever they may be. And we can imagine sending this pink energy of healing to cover all corners, all curves, all windows, all doors, all aspects of where they are. We can send healing to the things that are broken we know about. We can send healing to those things that we are unaware of. We can send that peace and healing to the past, to heal the relationships, the regrets, the unhealthy attachments. We can send healing to the present, to the now. That something amazing happens. That a connection is made. We can send healing to the future. We can heal our expectations and realign our thoughts to our purpose. In so doing, we are made one. We are made whole again. And now we send healing out to our world for the continued healing of conflict, healing of worry, healing of misinformation, healing of anger, healing of misunderstanding, healing of other. We heal and we send the thoughts and the knowledge that we are all points in the circle of life. That circle which has infinite number of points. No two occupying the same space, but yet part of the same whole. send healing to our men and women in uniform, locally and abroad, overseas, and to their families who worry. Those in the police force, men and women, that they will make it home safe to their family who worries for them. EMTs, nurses, doctors, those who care for our people, our friends and family, and even strangers. Those who serve, those who make decisions, clear minds, forward-thinking thoughts. We send healing to those who witness wrongs, that the strings of their heart may be tugged, so that they make a decision to speak up. And in so doing, healing occurs. Great Spirit, we ask that healing follows the earth, blanketing it, finding the spots where it's needed. And somehow, in some way, those people know that they're loved, they're cared for, and that we all are part of the same circle. And what we do to one another affects the whole. So we send love. We send it because it's a higher vibration that can drown out the lower vibrations. And as we do so, we are thankful, so thankful to be connected, connected to the earth, which sustains us while we're here upon it, and the spirit world that guides us in our steps, helping us to understand our true potentials of healing and a deeper connection with the One. We ask that when we wonder, that we feel that reflection of love that only comes from you, back to feed our soul, to let our spirit fly and brighten our light. And we are thankful. We are grateful. And now I want you to see that God light that comes down upon your head, enlightening every bit of your physical being and illuminating your spiritual self. Feel as that crown chakra awakens with the touch, bringing you more in line with the spirit world, to who you truly are. And as that energy and that light from the universe moves down into your third eye chakra, it also touches and illuminates the indigo that's present there. Feeling now the buzz of electricity and vibrations as your awareness and connection of the spirit world and communications increases. You're beginning to feel that the area around you is more full than you had once thought. Moving closer to you are the guides and teachers and loved ones that have been with you since the beginning. Breathing down deeply into your throat chakra, and with it the blue, expanding and connecting to your upper chakras. You are beginning to understand and become aware that those around you are speaking. They're speaking directly to your spirit that has always lived within you. That spark that connects you to the One, that infinite circle. Feel as that energy moves into your eye heart chakra, where its green energy glows and grows brighter with every breath. This is the love that connects us all. As you feel the vibration of its color, know that it expands and connects you to all. Breathe again deeply as you activate the solar plexus chakra. Its yellow flame starting small, but quickly growing larger and larger, filling the entire room where you're sitting, blending with all the other colors of the chakras and becoming one, illuminating the room to the presence of all that have gathered with you and with us. You feel the electric energy around you as you breathe deeply into your sacral chakra, that orange chakra that glows, that chakra that connects your passion with your intention. Its orange light grows brighter and brighter, illuminating the lower half of your chakras and blending with the upper. Perfectly in line and perfectly open now. Your spirit guides and loved ones that have come to see you are seeing you in a new way. They see how your light shines brighter, how your true potential is realized, how your light illuminates the path that's before you, and everything becomes clear. Finally, that light connects with the root, and the root connects with the earth. From the root to the core in a second, you're connected and grounded. The relaxing and the centering and grounding energy that comes from Mother Earth flows through you now. The knowledge of your purpose is also present within you now. You're surrounded by the love of the spirit world, your guides, your loved ones, that of the great mystery. God, the source, fully connected to that love that knows no bounds. Sit for a moment and feel that love as you're fully connected. As you breathe in this last time, I want you to see how this light of protection surrounds your entire body and your auric field. And as it starts to dissipate and disappear, you find yourself left at a table. There are others around you having their own conversations. Going about their own business. But as you sit with your coffee, you hear the jingle of the bell as the door opens behind you. And you feel the presence of one of your loved ones who has waited a very long time to reconnect with you. In the moment you feel their presence behind you, gently touching your shoulders. And the electricity of that reunion moves through your entire body. And they circle around the table and take a seat. And you reach your hands across the table to meet theirs, feeling how very real they are. Take a moment to see how they appear to you. Take a moment to look over what they're wearing, the expression on their face. The feeling that you get from their energy. Be still and silently reconnect. This is a feeling of soul connection. although there are conversations around you, focus only on the question you have. And in the breath, wait for the response. Which very well might be a feeling, which may be a knowing. If you're unsure if you can hear them, and watch as they take a pen and write their message to you on a napkin in front of you. And when they are done, you just push it across the table for you. You can take a hold of it and feel it. And read every word that's there. Noticing the color of the pen. Noticing the arc of the letters. The texture of the napkin. It might be a single word, or it could be a phrase. It might just simply say, I love you. There's something that you wanted to say. They know. And now is the time to say it. Take one last long look. Saying your goodbyes. And know that although it seems like a goodbye, it really isn't. Know that they can be at this coffee shop anytime you need to talk. This is your special area that you can come back to anytime you want. All you need to do is reach out in your mind and invite them, and they'll come. It's easier to communicate with you here than in the busyness of the world you live in. And as you part ways in that energy of the Holy Spirit and the God light, that loving source, white energy, covering you again. Remember the realness of this moment because it is true. And as the coffee shop fades away, and you once again find yourself sitting where you were when you began, become reacquainted with the breath that grounds you. Follow it as it moves in through your nose and out through your mouth. Become reacquainted with your hands by moving your fingers and your toes by moving them. And when you're ready, you can open up your eyes.